Title: I caught my husband in bed with his childhood friend. When I fell down the stairs, he said, "Let's finish first." I was 7 months pregnant. Not just pregnant, expecting twin girls. Two little souls I had dreamed about before they were even conceived. Every night, I would rest my hand on my belly, whispering their names, whispering prayers. The kind of prayers only a mother can truly understand. Their nursery was nearly finished. I'd painted the walls a soft blush pink. Gold stars shimmered above the crib mobiles. Two of everything: cribs, onesies, pacifiers. I remember folding their tiny socks and placing them in a drawer I'd already opened 100 times. Just to look, just to smile. Life felt close to perfect. Or at least, that's what I told myself. Carter wasn't perfect, far from it, but he was my husband. The man I married after 2 years of believing I'd finally found someone who wouldn't let me down. Of course, there were signs. The little lies. The coldness in his voice some nights. The times he came home late, no explanation. The way he dismissed my tears as hormones or drama. But love has this strange ability to build walls around our eyes. We see what we want, ignore what we can't bear. Love, it makes you defend what hurts you. That night, I'd gone out for something simple: strawberries and vanilla yogurt. Cravings, the innocent joys of pregnancy. I remember humming in the car, thinking about middle names, smiling to myself like a teenager with a crush. I even thought, maybe I should surprise Carter with a movie night. Maybe we were just going through a phase. When I got home, it was quiet. Too quiet. No music, no TV, no soft click of the computer keyboard, just stillness. I remember pausing at the door. Maybe he was asleep, I thought. Then I heard it. A laugh, high, airy, soft, and unmistakably feminine. I froze. My fingers tightened on the grocery bag. My pulse pounded in my ears. I wanted to believe it was the TV, but my feet, they had a mind of their own. Up the stairs I went, heart racing, fingers trembling. The bedroom door was cracked open. I pushed it slowly, and I saw them: Carter, my husband, and Vanessa, his so-called best friend since grade school. They were naked, tangled, sweaty. Laughing, her back arched against him, her head tilted in bliss. And when she saw me, she smiled, like she'd won. Carter turned, no shock, no guilt, just annoyance. "You're home early," he muttered, like I'd walked in on a conference call. I don't even remember what I said. Maybe I didn't say anything at all. My legs moved, but my vision blurred. The air around me felt thin. I turned, tried to walk away, but my foot slipped on the top stair. I remember falling. Each stair a blow, a punishment. My body twisted, my arms flailed, my belly slammed. Then impact. My scream ripped through the air. I screamed for my babies, for the betrayal, for the pain. I waited for him to come down, to help, to show a flicker of concern, and then I heard it. His voice, cold, detached, from upstairs. "Let's finish first." I blacked out. I don't know how long I was unconscious, but I woke to a new voice, firm, familiar. "Get out of the way." Strong arms lifted me. I caught a glimpse of his face. Elijah, Carter's older brother, the one who hadn't been around in years, the one Carter called arrogant, full of himself, thinks he's better than us. He wasn't supposed to be there. And yet there he was, carrying me to safety. He drove like the wind, but steady, one hand on the wheel, the other holding mine. "Stay with me, Madison. Don't close your eyes. You're strong. You're going to be okay?" I clung to his voice like it was the only real thing left. The hospital lights were blinding. I was wheeled away, doctors shouting orders. Someone asked me questions I didn't hear. And then darkness. When I opened my eyes again, I knew. Before they told me, I knew. My hands searched my belly. It was flat, empty. The silence was deafening. A nurse came, held my hand. Her mouth moved, but I only heard 4 words. They were too early. I turned away, and I screamed. I screamed until my throat burned. I grieved until my body shook. And Carter, he never came, not once. He didn't call, didn't send flowers, didn't ask if I was alive. It was Elijah who planned the quiet funeral. Elijah who held my hand when we buried my girls. Elijah who stayed when their father vanished. Weeks later, I returned home. The nursery was untouched. It felt like a shrine to a future that never arrived. Carter was in the kitchen, eating cereal, watching TV, like nothing had happened. I told him I wanted a divorce. He laughed.
"You can't survive without me, Madison," he said. "You have no job, no savings, no family here. Where exactly do you think you're going?" And for one horrible second, I believed him. Then my phone rang. Elijah. His voice was calm. "Steady, come stay with me. The papers are ready. You don't owe Carter another second." He didn't ask. He came and picked me up. Elijah's apartment was quiet, not the silence of pain, but of peace. Fresh flowers in a vase, soft lighting. A place that didn't make me want to scream. He never asked questions. He made space for my grief. Some days I cried in the shower for an hour. Some days I just sat by the window, staring. One morning, I walked into the kitchen and found a folder. Inside, the finalized divorce documents, a modest alimony agreement, a restraining order, all done, without fanfare. Elijah didn't want praise. He just wanted me safe. Carter, on the other hand, spiraled. He called over 30 times in a day, screamed, cried, begged, then threatened, and finally showed up. He tried to get past security at Elijah's building, but Elijah met him at the gate. "She's not yours anymore," Elijah said. "She never really was." Carter tried to throw punches, words first, then fists. Elijah didn't flinch. "Try ruining me," he said. "I built everything on my own. You have nothing." Go, and Carter was escorted out. That was the last time I ever saw him. As time passed, I started breathing again, smiling again. One night I turned to Elijah on the balcony. "Why?" I whispered. "Why did you do all of this for me?" He didn't look at me, not at first. Then he said, "One night I turned to Elijah on the balcony." "Why?" I whispered. "Why did you do all of this for me?" He didn't look at me right away. Instead, he looked out over the city skyline. His jaw clenched slightly, like he was holding back years of truth. Then he said, "Because I've loved you for a long time, Madison. Since before Carter ever thought to see you as more than someone to show off." My breath caught. "I stayed away," he continued, "because I respected that you were with him. I kept my distance. I told myself it was just admiration, just a passing thing, but it was." I turned to him, searching his face. He smiled faintly, almost painfully. Then his eyes met mine. "I remember the first time I saw you," he said. "Really saw you. You came over for that dinner Carter dragged you to back when you two were just dating. He kept talking about himself, and you just sat there, listening, smiling politely. But after dinner, you helped my mother do the dishes. No hesitation, you joked with her, asked about her book club, you saw people, you noticed things that stayed with me." I remembered that night. Barely, but Elijah hadn't forgotten. He went on. "The second time was when you brought that painting to the family barbecue. You painted it for Carter's birthday, a skyline with little stars representing your dreams together. Carter barely glanced at it. But you lit up when you explained it to me. Your voice, it had so much hope in it. I remember thinking, how could someone like him deserve someone like her?" I swallowed hard. My throat tightened. "And the third time," he said, voice quiet now, "was the night you called me. Carter had taken your car and left you stranded outside that grocery store. It was raining. You were pregnant. He didn't answer, but I did. You didn't even complain. You just said, 'Sorry to bother you.' And I realized then, I wasn't just falling for you, I already had." I felt tears sting the corners of my eyes. "I wanted to say something," he added, "so many times. But I couldn't because you'd chosen him, and I thought maybe he'd change. Maybe he'd learn to see what I saw." He paused, his next words barely a whisper. "But he never did." And then he looked at me again, with eyes so full of quiet pain and longing that I felt the years he had carried all of it alone. "I'm not here because I want to be a hero," he said. "I'm here because when I saw you lying there, bleeding, broken, I realized I couldn't hold it in anymore. You're not someone I want to rescue, Madison. You're someone I want to walk beside, if you'll let me." I didn't say anything at first, because how could I? Instead, I reached for his hand. And for the first time in so long, I felt chosen, not for what I gave, not for what I could offer, but for who I was. From that moment forward, things shifted. Not instantly, not in a movie scene kind of way, but slowly, steadily, like flowers growing in the cracks of a ruined garden. Elijah didn't rush me. He didn't need to. He was there, every morning with fresh coffee, every evening with quiet space. Some nights we'd talk until 2 a.m., other nights we'd just sit, sharing silence like it was its own kind of comfort. And one day I caught myself laughing again, really laughing. And he was looking at me, not like a man afraid to speak, but like someone who had waited a lifetime and could finally breathe. Months later, Carter's world unraveled completely. Vanessa was arrested, assault, drug trafficking. She'd been cheating on him too. Carter lost his job, his money, his reputation. His last name meant nothing now, and I rebuilt, not into the woman Carter had tried to mold, but into someone I was proud to meet in the mirror. Wiser, softer, fiercer. And in Elijah, I didn't just find safety, I found love, not fast, not fiery, but deep, real, unshakable. This time I didn't have to ask if I was enough. Because in his eyes, I always had been. And now, I was finally ready to receive it, and I will live this life to the fullest.